key challenges we think we found so far are trying to identify a market. Now, my background is in finance, and so I'm used to be sitting on the other side of the desk and having vendors come and pitch to me for why their product should come into a financial services firm. So being on the outside and trying to move those conversations on, it can be quite difficult for a startup. So trying to identify markets that we can actually get some, a beachhead into, without, having a huge sales force and hiring loads of people to go out and, to constantly sell, has been an interesting challenge. So that's one of the areas where things haven't quite gone, as the way that I thought they would. A lot of our customers have tended not to be the banks as yet, because their sales cycle moves much more slowly than I'd anticipated. And it turns out that smaller companies actually are able to make decisions much quicker and actually sign off and actually become customers and give you money in less time. So the market has been slightly different to where I thought it was, but I'm sure that over time we'll be able to branch out into more of those financial markets as well. Well, so again, this was another big surprise for me, which was to discover that actually running a business on an absolute pared-down run rate is something that I actually really, found that I had. First of all, I enjoyed it, and also that I found I had something of an aptitude for it. So actually, really screwing down the costs as far as you can, so that you're just not spending very much. That's absolutely key. And obviously, to do that, you've got to have a team which coordinates and communicates with each other, and understands that part of this, of being in an early stage, is a certain amount of risk which is shared amongst the team. So once you've got your run rate down as far as you can, well, you need less in order to make the business continue to function. So the two ways of doing that obviously would either be to take some angel money or Series A, or alternatively to fund it with professional services, and it's really the latter option that we've taken. We're now almost to the point where the business is self-sustaining from product revenue. We are a product company, that's absolutely where we're going to go, and we're almost there now. But at the moment we are still taking in some bits of services work in order to just keep ourselves going while we build the customer base out and become self-sustaining. So the next stages are, our second product is launching. We've managed to find a fantastic first customer for it. And that's one of the big surprises is that good customers are worth their weight in gold. People who you can have an open discussion about where your technology's at, where your product's at, get real good feedback from them. Somebody else maybe who's also at an early stage, so that you can work together to find out what the product really needs to look like. So launching with that customer is going to be our next big step forward. Their go live date is in May. We had our first beta milestone on March 11th, and everything's passed with flying colours. So we're really looking forward to that live date. And then on the back of that, it's time to start branching out. Time to go to the cloud providers, because our second product is focused on cloud applications. So that's very much where we're going to go. The Cloud Bees, the Herokus, Amazon obviously. But to actually start getting our product onto those platforms and available to all the people that run their applications there. Rent's cheap. No, in all seriousness, the rent's cheap, the pubs are good, but there is also a real energy here. So we actually sit in a building called Shoreditch Works, which is there's a whole host of really innovative and really great companies in there. Everything from people that are making Facebook games, all the way through to an analyst firm, Redmonk, who actually have the office next door to us. And the great thing about Tech City is it has these places like Shoreditch Works, where there's a lot of energy. There are all these different companies. That there are lots of different ideas. I can walk upstairs and go into one of the big open plan spaces, and just go and see a whole bunch of different people, and sit and have lunch with them, hear some different ideas, get the feel of what's going on. So that energy and that sense of community is really, really important. It's also somewhat fragile. There's a lot that's happening in this part of Tech City, and there are some things which actually could put some pressure on the energy. Notably the planning regulations changes which are being pushed through, which potentially you could see a lot of office space which is currently cheap and available for startups being rezoned as residential. And that would be that would obviously put a real downer on a lot of the things which are happening here. So for any small business, control your costs. know what your costs are and ratchet them down absolutely as far as you can. Don't be afraid to spend money if you have to, but don't spend it unless you have to. Think very carefully about investment. One of my favourite sayings is that customer money represents growth, whereas investor money can represent a constraint on you. Having other people inside your idea and working with you can be fantastic, because it means you have to prove it out and you have to explain it to the outside world. But at the same time, as the entrepreneur, you're the one that has to hold this thing together. You're the one that's going to stay awake in the middle of the night with new ideas, or because you can't sleep because you're so excited about what you're working on. And you need to balance, justifying and explaining your vision versus remaining true to what you want. It's your ship and you have to sail it. Think carefully about expansion. Get customers as early as you can. Shipping products changes everything. Once you actually have something out there and you have customers who are depending on you, your whole view of the world changes for the better, because all of a sudden you know that there are people relying on you.